محكم كتابه المبين وقوله الحق أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والله أخرجكم من بطون أمهاتكم لا تعلمون شيئا وجعل لكم السمع والأبصار والأفئدة لعلكم تشكرون صلوات. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, brothers and sisters. Inshallah, we have came to this second part of our discussion which we started yesterday, and the discussion is the era of modern jahiliyyah or modern ignorance. And this topic is new to you and it's new to me too. And I took it from, something which ulama have said in their speeches, especially Rahbar Muazzam. And then we tried to look what does it mean, although in his speeches and in his what he said is mostly political there, which I found. But we can elaborate on that. And on my personal experience and what I've studied, it kind of like pushed me to look into it more. And inshallah, I'll try to look into this more deeper later on. But right now it's just like I'm starting a discussion for you brothers and sisters. I'm starting this discussion for myself as well. That if Rahbar Muazzam is calling this era as an era of jahiliyyah or ignorance or modern ignorance, like they said, or he said, what does it mean? Are we in the era which is like pre-Islamic Arabia? Are the people who are here, they're like that? We are gonna discuss about that. I'm gonna put I did put a few like points there yesterday. I didn't get any questions or comments back. So maybe because it was the first day. If you have any comments or questions, inshallah, I'll be here after namaz. We can sit down and discuss about that. I don't know if they have the Q&A session or they have Slido or anything. You can ask them. I'm open for everything like this. Slido is an app you can download. You can ask questions there, and I can answer that. It can be anonymous as well. Why am I saying that? Because, like I said, this discussion or this point or this topic is a new topic. And maybe most of us have not seen the modern era or the modern days like that. And maybe most of us wouldn't be agreeing to what I'm saying here right now. So it's a good thing, like I said before, that the mimbar and majalis are the places to spark these kind of discussions. As the Shia of Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, and the follower of the religion of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, we Shias are entitled to be engaged in discussions like this. We're entitled, even if these discussions are not prominent or popular or easily available, we need to start these kind of discussions. Because sometimes when we are on the receiving end of a dhulm or oppression, all we do is we just talk against oppression, that whatever is happening in this world is not right. And any child can say that. But as intellectuals, and I said this before, that anybody who is coming to the Majlis Imam Hussain alayhi salam is an intellectual by himself. Imam didn't choose you without any reason. When you are here, he has chosen you because inshallah your intellect is more than a regular person. As a Shia, as a Muslim, as a practicing Muslim. If that's the case, then if these kind of topics are being said from the member, we should be able to carry them. Please recite salawat. Just to recap what we discussed in this context yesterday. we discussed about the simple and compound ignorance, and we said that there's a ignorance which is simple, or in Farsi or Arabic we say jahl basit, actually in Arabic, that in that jahl basit or simple ignorance, I know that I don't know about something. And I gave you an example for that. And there is another kind of jahl, another kind of ignorance which is called compound ignorance or jahl murakkab. That kind of a jahl or ignorance is really dangerous. And I made a parallel with this jahl to cancer, right? It's a disease, but it's a hidden disease. It is a jahl, it is an ignorance, but it is a hidden ignorance. And when a disease is hidden, it's really difficult to cure it, just like cancer. Similarly, if a jahl is a disease of our ruh, or insan's ruh, jahl is a disease. Jahl, according to Imam Ali, is something, or ignorance is something which is not the presence of ilm. And if any ilm which we are supposed to carry and we are not carrying it in our hearts or in our soul, then we are suffering from an ailment. It's a spiritual ailment if I have jahl in my spirit or soul. This kind of jahl murakkab, the compound ignorance, is an ailment which I don't know about. It's a disease which I don't know about. I think that I know, but I don't know that I do not know. Jahl murakkab is that I think that I know about something, but in reality I don't know about that thing. And I am not aware of my not knowing that thing. If it's a lot of words and it's not making any sense, please recite salawat. If it's making sense, please recite a louder salawat. So jahl murakkab is something that I know about something, but I don't know that the reality of that thing. I don't know the real ilm of that thing. Or I'm recognizing it in the wrong way. Or I have the ilm of that thing, but that is so limited. So limited that the reality of that phenomena or that thing is not Roshan for me, is not clear for me. And then I said that we are in the era where this compound ignorance is really, really common. A lot of us in different walks of life, we think that we know a lot of things, but in reality we don't. We don't, at least we don't know the depth of that phenomena. I gave you the example of some academic topics or some bahas or some discussions in academia. So that was the discussion we did yesterday. But what the thing which is related to our discussion here is not that specific ignorance about those topics which are really prevalent in academia only. The things which are related to us, which should be the things we should be in our life or we should be practicing, sometimes we don't have the knowledge about that, and we are living the life according to that limited knowledge, and because of that, we get into a lot of troubles. And because of that, inshallah, today's majlis would be making parallels between the concepts which are the characteristics of the Jahiliyyah before Islam, or the ignorance before Islam, and the Jahiliyyah of the modern days, or the ignorance of the modern days. And when I'm going to make parallels like this, when I was writing my notes here, I had so many things coming in my mind that inshallah you will have a lot of questions about it, and I love if you would have questions about this, and you can refute and you can bring your own reasons why you're refuting it. And we can start a discussion about it. But when this ignorance, if I take this ignorance out of the academic setting, and I'm not talking about Jahl Murakkab and Jahl Basid, compound ignorance and simple ignorance in academia form, a specific discussion of academia, and I'm discussing it in my everyday life, then it is really relatable to me, right? Because that kind of a discussion or that kind of a confusion or that kind of a Jahl Murakkab or Jahl Basid is directly related to my life. And I'm making plans, I'm shaping my life according to those principles which are maybe flawed. They are flawed because I don't have the real awareness of that, or real ilm of that, or real knowledge of that. For example, drawing a parallel that in pre-Islamic Arabia, you know, what kind of a society was that? There's a khutbah of Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam. This is a salawat. He talked about that what kind of a life these Arabs were living. But at that time, Imam came after a few years to the same people who were Arabs, and they were converted like 30 years ago, but they kind of reverted, or demoted, I will say, to the same level of Jahiliyyah where they were before Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's why Imam had to go on minbar, and probably right after his khilafah, when he accepted the khilafah which was kind of imposed on him, he told them not to tell them off. He told them that where are you standing right now? Karbala didn't happen overnight. Like in 61 years of Hijrah, or 51 years or 50 years after the demise of Rasulullah, people are killing Imam Hussain for qurbatan ilallah. It didn't happen overnight. There was a system because of which the ummah of Rasulullah has reached to that Jahiliyyah. And that's what Imam Ali is saying here. I will bring the khutbah, inshallah we can talk about that. But the mafhum of the khutbah is this, that even your regular life was not great. You were drinking that kind of water. You were eating that thing. Your religion was to worship stones and wood before Rasulullah. Why Imam Ali is saying this to these people who are sitting in front of him in Islamic government, in Islamic society where the majority are Muslims, where the mosques are everywhere? Because Imam was trying to say, Baba, in reality, in theory, you have demoted to that state. Now, even if a Khalifa like Ali is going to sit on the minbar, he wouldn't be able to help you. Right? That's what he was trying to say. And that's what happened. Only 4 years and he had to fight 3 wars. Only 4 years, and people were asking him, oh Ali, you should do tawbah because you became kafir. In this 4 years, a person killed him on the specific night of Ramadan so he can get more thawab of killing Imam Ali. The ummah who became like this must be suffering from some ailment, from some disease. They have missed the bus, right? They have missed Ghadir. They have missed the system of wilaya. The same thing, if this ulama are saying this thing to us in this modern era, they're trying to bring us to this mindset that wherever we are living, our state of mind is this, that theoretically we cannot carry on this wilaya either. And that could be one of the cause that the zahur, or the coming back of Imam Zaman alayhi salam, is being delayed. It's being delayed. Maybe and probably and most probably Imam Zaman is not waiting for Abdullah, the king of Arabia, to die and then he's going to come back. No, Baba. Those signs and those things are there. fire from Basra and all these things, they're there. But the main thing which we can make sense of is this, that am I able to carry on this system of wilaya or not? Would I be able to follow Imam Zaman like I should be, or I am like people after Rasulullah who were not able to follow Imam Ali, and that's why they lost Imam Ali. That's why this discussion is really important. Please recite another salawat. So drawing the parallels, and I will try to make a conclusion here after drawing a few parallels. And again, like I said, you can come back and tell me that I was wrong. For example, see the political system in pre-Islamic Arabia. What was the political system? There were tribes, right? And the tribal, the elder person was their leader. And everybody has the pride because of their tribe. And because of that's how they were governing. Even in Mecca, there are different tribes who used to, big people used to sit in the place close to Kaaba and make decisions about people, about regular people. So they had this concept of ruler and the people who can be ruled. But with that tribalism, with that tribal mentality, where they were trying to, go become more prominent and make other tribes go lesser, they had the sense of pride. They had the sense of izzah. They had the sense of that the honor because of which they can fight with each other. I'm not saying when they were fighting it was right. It was totally wrong. It was jahiliyyah. They were fighting for small things like Hajar Aswad, right? You know the story. The black stone in Kaaba, when it fell down, they were about to fight with each other with swords, that who is going to put this stone back. Because whoever is going to put the stone back in Kaaba, his tribe and his name will be prominent and on the top. And because of that, they were about to fight. But still, they had the sense of honor. Misplaced, wrong, but they had the sense of honor. If I make a parallel to this modern jahiliyyah here, and nowadays, we don't have any sense of honor most of the time. People don't take honor in anything. Not their family, not their, tribe, not their culture. You'll say, Mama, what you're talking about? We are Pakistanis and we always try to have Pakistani chai, Pakistani majlis here, right? Yeah, I'm not talking about that. Taking the honor with that. Do you feel that I have some substance more than my own self? Do you feel that I'm attached to something? The modern man is totally lonely. He's totally detached. He's totally detached from his family as well. And these are the ailments which are coming in our families as well, brothers and sisters. I'll be honest here. I'll be blunt here. If I'll see my child trying to detach myself or himself from me, I wouldn't be surprised, because this is where this modernism is pushing us. I'm okay with my own fake Instagram followers and Facebook friends. I'm okay with it. I'm satisfied with it. I have a khayali tribe of my own, whose honorable president is I am. Everything goes back to me. So if I draw a parallel, those people who are jahil, those people who are ignorant, those people who had the ignorant sense of honor, their sense of honor was bigger than the sense of honor we have right now, if we have any sense of honor. Because modern man, like I said before, he's just thinking of himself. If you go to the root cause of all the problems which are domestic or social or in the community, is because we are afflicted by self-love. Self-respect is something else. Everybody should have self-respect. Islam encourages self-respect. But self-love that only me, and around me is only me as well, that's going to make you lonely. The practical result of this would happen that you can see that there's a brother who is eligible and there's a sister who is eligible, but they are not able to marry each other because they have learned to live alone with themselves. These are not the problems of different religions or different ethnicities, brothers and sisters. If it wouldn't be a problem of our cultures and our people, I wouldn't be saying it from minbar. Because when we are living in this society, we are getting the effects of this society. I'm an immigrant. A lot of brothers who are and sisters who came here, they're immigrants. We probably are not able to find this thing, but I'll ask these brothers who were born here, who went to regular schools there, who are kind of impounded with fake and wrong information about their self, and the way they have built their life is a fake life. They feel lonely. They feel lost. I'm saying that because I talk to these brothers. They cannot find any attachment with anything. I cannot be attached to Pakistan because my Abba is from Pakistan. And I don't actually, he's not my hero. Right? That's how we think. Because again, I'm not saying, I'm just going to say a few things. I'm not solving it here. I'm just pinpointing this there. It's because modern society has made you and me to be satisfied in living alone, to find peace only by myself, with my own love. But in reality, you can see when you talk to these young kids, you can see that something's missing there. Something is not right here. Because a man has to have, man, when I say man, it means man and woman, has to have some attachment, something bigger than him or herself to which she or he can be attached to. Even those who are from different religion, if they, let's say, they're attaching themselves to a church and Jesus and, whatever, they are better than those people who are detached from everything, who are detached from every honor. So in this parallel which I drew here, I can see that this Jahiliyyah is more dangerous than the Jahiliyyah we had before. Please recite another salawat. Please recite another salawat. Apparently there is no Nara Hadri in English majalis, so you don't. The other thing was this, that they were fighting, and actually it is kind of related to our first parallel we made. They were fighting on petty issues. You go and see the history that they would be fighting on this thing, that a person came to somebody else's pond and his camel drank some water from that pond. And because of that, they will start fighting, and this fight will go on for years and years. Why did you come to my pond, and why didn't you ask me the permission and stuff like this? But right now, we have wars as well. We have battles as well. It's not about drinking water, but probably it's because of oil and gas. Because of few people's desire to get richer and richer. Even the soldiers they send overseas is just to fill their pockets. That's it. You have seen all these videos, right? The American soldiers in Iraq, they were interviewing. He's on the road, sitting in Humvee and asking, the reporter is asking, do you know why you're here? And he would say, I don't know. I had to pay off my college debts. I had to go to a dentistry school. I wanted to be a doctor, but they sent me here to slaughter people. Why? Why? So the millions I have will be changed into billions, and the billions will be changed into trillions. So I'm making people fight with each other. So the weapons I made, which are top-notch, can be sold easily. They're so precise, they are hitting the schools in Pakistan and Afghanistan and Iraq. Now you draw a parallel. Would you say that that person who is fighting, he had the sense, okay, that was my territory, you came to my territory, your animal came to my territory, that's why I'm fighting. As compared to these people who are fighting to fill up their pockets. Who is better? I'm just saying that, why? Because when I said this, and maybe when I put this title here, the modern jahiliyyah, modern ignorance, people might have this question that, are we living in an era of jahiliyyah? That's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes we do not know what is going on around us. The technological advances, they are good. But if you are not a human being, then you are killing people with swords and arrows. Now you are killing people with nuclear bombs. Not people, but their coming children as well. They're defected. This is what your technology teaches you. Is this the rushd? Is this the kamal Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created me for? You'll say, Maulana, you're just painting the dark picture here. Why? Because this is more prominent. I don't want to go to the lighter picture because that will be difficult to understand. Each and every system we have here has flaws. From school system to the fighting system to the political system, and I'm not talking about only this country, but all over the world. All over the world. Because US is the imam, right? Whatever happens in US, it has to be happening in Pakistan too. And India too. Baba, you need to know what your imam dhalala is doing. You want to go to this darkness? Be a man, think as a free man. Why do you have to follow them? I don't want to take anybody's name, but because it becomes like this, Elon Musk says good, and we say, oh wow, it is good. To me, again, the ugliest car on the face of the earth is Ascent. MashaAllah. Please recite salawat. I'm not saying that because I cannot buy it, but it is an ugly car. Be honest here. But it's $100,000 car. You can break the mirror with the the window with the hammer as well. But people are still buying it. Why? Because we got used to these things. We have become used to the trends. Whatever trend is out there is just like, when I see that car, it's like, you know the story of emperor and emperor's clothes? Everybody have read this, right? I don't have to say that story because I cannot say that story from here. Please say salawat. What was the moral of the story? Because everybody was following a trend. Because he said that if anybody see me and don't see my clothes, then he is not intelligent. So because we want to show that we are intelligent, even the ugliest car would be the best car for me. If these majalis and coming to these majalis would help us and spark this thinking in us that I have to come out of the box which is designed for me, and I think living in that box, inshallah, we'll get a lot of sawab. Inshallah. Inshallah, Imam Zaman and Imam Hussain will be happy with us. This is our salawat. Because that will be the Ali, 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 Ali. Chaman, chaman, kali, kali. Ali, 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 Ali. Chaman, chaman, kali, kali. Ali, 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 Ali. Nare Haidari. Ya Ahsan, mashallah. Dushmanane ale bayat par lanet. Beshumar. Husainiyat. Zindabad. Husainiyat. Zindabad. Yazidiyat. Ahsan, mashallah. So the naras in English majlis cannot be, shouldn't be translated. You can do it in Urdu. So, mashallah, you did it, mashallah. So the point is, we need to come out of the box. We shouldn't be waiting for any great scientist or any great billionaire to post on his Facebook that come out of the box. Why are we waiting for them? They are the one who put us in this box. We're the consumers. They need more consumers. They need more consumers for their product and for their system. The system is thriving on the ignorance of a common man. Why would they educate me? Why would they make a system of education where I will be a free thinker? And I'll come out and say, stop playing with people's money. Stop playing with people's life. Stop playing with people's values. We're talking about the moral values. Compare this moral value system in Arabia and in here. The few women, I cannot elaborate it from the member, there were few women, the grandmother of Yazid was among them, who were known for certain things. But right now, this is a disease. Not having a haya in a woman is a death of a womanhood. It's a death of a womanhood. Again, these things you have heard from me before me, that they're using it to sell their products, Baba. Don't be happy when Nike is selling hijab, because Nike has to sell his product. Nike has not converted to Islam. Don't say that, Mala, can I buy the Nike products? I don't know about that. I'm saying I shouldn't be happy about these small things. The same people who are selling hijab, they are giving some values which are just materialistic. My life is materialistic. A really good hijabi practicing sister, but she's materialistic. A really good practicing brother, but he's materialistic. He's trying to build his family life on materials. He or she has a whole list telling the physical beauty and the money they're making. Or worse than that, how can they make me happy? Why worse than that? Because our happiness, our happiness is not based on anything sometimes. Someday, a bar of chocolate, a chocolate bar can make me happy. And the other day, the same chocolate bar is going to make me depressed because when I see my weight, right? You want to build your relationship on these principles? There was not a story from here, but some from other place. When the Maulanas do, counseling and stuff, they get really interesting stories. So one Maulana got a story that the brother came and said, the Maulana, I want to divorce my wife. Why? Because she doesn't know what penguins are. He said, why? Because she's so, na'uzubillah, please don't mind my language, she's so illiterate or dumb that she doesn't know what penguins are. And when I said, Baba, you are illiterate. You are leaving this sister or your wife because of that. Are these things happening in our society or not? In our communities or not? Not inshallah, not in majority. But if they are not happening, maybe because something else is confining it. And that confinement is not real. As soon as that confinement would be gone, people are going to come out. 20, 25, 30 years ago, and I've heard this from someone else, if anybody is doing anything wrong, going to wrong places at night, or maybe taking hijab off in the campus, she or he wouldn't be posting it. But right now you are posting it. You see another brother from masjid outside a really bad place where you are not supposed to go at night, and he says, "Assalamu alaikum brother, how are you?" Baba. What does it mean? You have no shame? I'm not saying that you have to have fake shame, but you don't have shame that you see this brother in the masjid. Now you are seeing this brother outside this place where you are not supposed to go, and you say, "Assalamu alaikum brother." So are we going forward, or we are going into Jahiliyyah, and worse Jahiliyyah than before? You can refute me about this, because this is still a question in my mind, that is this worse or not? It looks like it's worse here. Because remember, when we talked about this, these people may know that what they're doing. When you are burying a small child, you know that you're doing really a bad thing. I cannot say those slogans because sisters are here and brothers are here. But right now, these things have become slogans here. The two big parties are fighting on this thing, that if we can kill or we can let them live. I'm not citing anything, but I'm just saying that where we have fallen. I'm trying to make a point here, that we have fallen, and that's why the modern Jahiliyyah is a valid term. Don't think that it is just coming out of somebody's mind and coming out of thin air. The Arab Jahiliyyah, the ignorance of Arab was burying the girls alive. Now it's becoming a fashion that it is my choice, my life. I can do whatever I want to do, even if I have to kill someone. Please don't put me in a pro-life or pro-choice thing. I'm not talking about this. I'm saying that if these things are coming in our mind, then we are worse than that, at least like them. The society here is pre-Islamic Arabic society. The society of Abu Jahl, the society of Abu Lahab. And when it can come right after the demise of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like Imam Ali said, why can't it come right now? So what can we do? We don't have time for that. Inshallah, the last majlis is we're gonna be talking about that. What should we do? But to give you a really general solution here is we need to think as a free thinker here. Cut down our biases as much as possible. On intellectual level, on philosophical level, you cannot cut down your biases totally. We have discussed about this, and I can bring the reasons for that as well. Because a person, when he is born in certain, set of rules and some certain place and the capacity of his brain, he has to attach to some biases. So you cannot cut off all the biases 100% from you. But don't take biases as a fashion. We need to know that when I'm thinking in this way, why am I thinking in this way? Why all the people who are around me, they're talking and walking and thinking this same way? Are we robots? Have AI taken the world already? I just put this as a joke so you can laugh. It hasn't, inshallah. Please say salawat. Man versus machine is probably a sci-fi, but right now machine is winning. If a machine can tie me down and tie my thinking down, whether it's in the form of, I'll be blunt here, Netflix, TV, well, TV is in my old days, right, when I was a young. Netflix, YouTube, if it's tying me down, if it's tying my thinking down as well, then the machine is ruling on me. The best babysitter I have is few $100 iPhone which I give to my child. The best babysitter. He or she can see whatever they want to see there. Anybody can give the ads to them. We know that in the internet we have this, I don't know what you call that, probably dark web or something. We know all these things. It's a really good babysitter. I don't have to drop my child anywhere. He's in front of me. I'm happy that he's in front of me and doing whatever he is doing in front of me. But you actually don't know what's going on in his brain when he's doing all these things. When he's watching these things every now and again. This is how they tied our thinking power down as well, brothers and sisters. So inshallah, there were some other perils and other things I wanted to say. I'll say one more thing, and that'll be kind of connected to the Masaib. Please say salawat. This ignorance which came back after the demise of Rasulullah and at the time of Imam Ali caused Karbala. And when you see that what happened in Karbala, what happened to the family of Prophet, you should know that how important, how dangerous this Jahiliyyah is. Right now, the modern Jahiliyyah, I think in this way, like I said, I mentioned before, is hindering the path for the Allah's rule on this world. Me and you are not prepared for Imam Zaman. That's why he's not coming. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And being prepared doesn't mean that I have to be physically prepared, which is important. I have to be. But the main thing is this, that I need to know the Islamic theory. I need to know the Islamic system. I need to know that's the only system. If I don't know that system, if I think that the Taghut, that the system which looks like a really good system, but it is totally opposite to Islam, and I think that's the best system for me and for my children, Imam Zaman is not going to come. He's not going to come. Then it will be the same thing, that he's going to come here for 4 years with 3 wars, and at the end he will be killed. He's the last hujjat of Allah. Allah is not going to waste him like that. I have to grow up. I have to come out of my tiny box. Salamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah wa ala al-arwahi allati hallat bifina'ik jami'an salamu Allahi abadan ma baqid. وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله الآخر لا أحد مني لزيارتكم السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. Brothers and sisters, this is a Jahiliyyah which made Bibi Zainab Salamullah alayha to be in that court where you wouldn't want to go. You would never want to take your family to that kind of court. I've mentioned this before. What was happening in this court? That this Shaqi was sitting as a king with Imam Hussein's head in front of him. He was drinking. And I cannot say that. And he was trying to talk to Bibi Zainab Salamullah alayha. But at that time, Bibi Zainab, because she is the daughter of Ali, when this La'in was saying that poetry, that there was no Islam and Muhammad came without any proof, and Bani Hashim wanted to just be a bigot, Bibi Zainab stood up. At that time, this Mukhaddara, this Sharikatul Hussein. Hussein fought in Karbala with sword. She fought with her tongue in the court of Yazid. Should I be looking for any other idea for my daughter or for my sister than Zainab al-Kubra? And she said that you can be happy, you can congratulate yourself, but soon you will be done. At that time, I'll just say a few words of Masayib, that there's an imam in that court as well. How can this imam do the sabr of seeing Zainab Salamullah alaiha talking to Yazid? How can he see the head of Imam Hussein was in front of Yazid while he was talking and mocking and taking this stick and hitting the head of Imam Hussein and playing with the teeth and the lips of Imam Hussein? They said that people were in the court. Some of the people said, "Oh Yazid, I cannot see that, but oh Sajjad, you will see this, that Yazid was doing these things." This person said, "Oh Shaqi, stop hitting the stick on the lips of Hussein. I have seen Rasulullah kissing those lips. But Sajjad, you have to go to that mimbar and you have to do that khutbah and make Yazid dead." سَيَعْلَمُ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا أَيَّ مُنْقَلَبٍ يَنْقَلِبُونَ. Matam Hussein.
Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein,
Ya Hussein,
Ya Hussein,
Ya Hussein,
Ya Hussein,
Ya Hussein,
Ya Hussein,
Ya Hussein,
Ya Hussein,
Ya Hussein,
Ya Hussein,
Ya Hussein,
Ya Hussein,
Ya Hussein,
Ya Hussein,
Ya Hussein,
Ya Hussein.
من گدایم گدای حسینم، من گدایم گدای حسینم، من گدایم گدای